Hi guys, hello and welcome to the premiere this Sunday. I'm just going to dive right in and I've got some A4 copier paper. It's really quite thin, it's ordinary copier paper. And I want sheet at a time, so one sheet first. And I've got my gesso, which is coming to the end of its life, which is not surprising. I've had it at least 4 years, if not longer, and it's got all crusty bits in it, and there's a great big crusty bit there. So it's driving me mad now because there's so many crusty bits in it, but what can you do? I have ordered some new stuff. But it's a bit like when you put an exhaust on a car. You know, when you put a new exhaust on, it costs you a fortune, and it doesn't look like anything. You want to be saying to your neighbours, look, I've got a new exhaust. Nobody notices. And gesso is a bit like that. A bit like buying ink pads, especially vintage photo. You know, you buy it, but it's not really exciting. It's just something you use, isn't it? Anyway, that's a great dollop of gesso on the handle of my palette knife. So let's go. For this, I'm using a brayer. I have tried all different methods of getting the gesso onto here, and my favoured way is using a brayer. So there's another lump in there. Ugh, it's just nasty. So as usual, when you're loading your brayer, pull it down, lift it up, push it back, and that way then you'll get more coverage. So I'm just going to go up the page, portrait style first. And I'm starting at different places on the page, because the first bit that you touch tends to be the heaviest bit. So on this one I'll start here. I'll pick off the horrible bits in a minute. There we go. Just a bit up here. And then I'm going to turn it round and go the other direction. Just get rid of that crusty bit. It is very thin, this paper. If you're using copier paper, really do be careful, because when it's sticky like this, it can tear really easily. So we want some gesso on here. We don't want the whole thing covered, but a nice coverage. We want some. So there we go, that's that one. Let me just pick off these little blooming things. What a nuisance. But I guess it had to happen sometime. There we go. So now I'll just pop that to the side to dry. I've just caught the paper there, but it's alright. So I'm going to put that on a piece of cellophane by my side just to dry. It won't take long because there's actually not a whole lot of paint on it. And we'll do this one. It's quite a noisy process, so I'm sorry if it's driving you doolally. We won't be doing it forever. Another crusty bit, and there's a hair in there somewhere as well. Lovely, just what you want. So this is for my, remember I was talking to you about what I was going to do for the local agricultural show, for the category, the handicraft as they call it, category, called paper crafting, and you can use any paper in any way that you like. But I did say this to you last time, I think. I was kind of thinking that unless you're into junk journals, you wouldn't know what a junk journal is, really. You wouldn't know what to do with it. So I decided to go down the kind of prettier route, and I'll show you what I've got in mind as this video goes on. Oh, these little bits are doing my head in. They absolutely are. Steady. So there we are, that's two sides of different sheets done. And then I also want an envelope. Now that should give you a good clue as to what I'm making. Pull off that strip, and then I think there's probably enough gesso here. Don't run out now. Let's turn it 45 degrees. It's stuck to my messy mat. And just go the other way. You'll catch some of the pieces that you didn't catch before. You'll go over some pieces, but that doesn't matter. So there we go. Now, let's just whistle a happy tune until they dry. So I'll put you on pause and I'll come back to you. We'll do the other sides. I don't know where to put it. Right, well I think they're pretty dry. So all I'm going to do is, that's the side we've done. I know it's really difficult for you to see, but just have faith, I am doing what I'm saying I'm doing. And I've put some more gesso out. And I think I've de-lumped it, but time will tell. So just pick up some gesso again. It's the same thing, you're doing the same thing on the back as we did on the front. And all in all, I'm going to do 8 sheets of what is going to be the writing paper and 4 envelopes, and that's going to be my writing set. I'll come back and get the lumps, I think. I'll get them now before I start the other way on. I think that one's going to have to stay in. Doesn't want to come off. This is turned into a really mucky job. And it really shouldn't be. So there we go, that's one completed with the gesso. Next one. Pick out the crusts. I've just laid my palette knife down in my gesso, which wasn't the wisest thing to do, but never mind, we'll be alright. We'll be okay. So there we are, there's that one. It looks a bit light over there, so I'll try and catch that when we go this way. And there's just the other side of the envelope to do, so nearly there. So a little bit more up there, that's it. So put that to one side to dry, and then there's just the back side of the envelope. And then the other way, and that's those ones finished. Oh, Mr. F's cooking salmon for lunch, and it smells delicious. There we are. So I'll leave that to dry as well. So I've now got 8 pieces of paper completed and 4 envelopes. So I could leave it at that while I go and eat my lunch. Oh, look at the state of that. So I'll see you soon. Okay, I've had my lunch. It was delicious, I can confirm. And then I sat around for a while, doing nothing. So time's got on and I really must press on with this. Right, so we've coloured all we've gessoed all our papers. Now comes the time to colour them. So what I intend doing is using some napkins. No surprise that one of them will be this little blue tit. Ooh, let's bring you in a little bit. There we go. Ooh, that might be too much now. No, that's about fine. Probably exactly where we were. So what I want to do is put one blue tit at the top of the page and another one at the bottom. Just on the one side and then another one on an envelope. But before I do that, I want to colour the page. Because obviously we've put the gesso on for a reason, and that's to just colour the page. So I'm looking at my birds and I'm thinking, what colour are they? And I think there is a little bit of this Uncharted Mariner along here, along the back of its wing here. And also there's a fair bit of speckled egg. So those two colours I like a lot. So let's just shake these up because the oxides. That's probably okay. And I'm going to put out a little bit of the Uncharted Mariner, and this is almost finished, so I'm just going to have to kind of tip this from the bottle, I think. A bit more of the speckled egg. There we go. And then I want lots of water because I want this quite a dilute inkiness. So I'm going to put quite a bit of water to the side there that I can dip into, then some in that and some in that. So we're all diluted. And I'm using a big flat brush here. You might call it a sky brush, flow brush, whatever. It's just a big soft flat brush. And I'm just going to pick up some of this with the water and I'm just going to paint this on. And we should get different colourings coming through. Some will be the Uncharted Mariner, some will be the speckled egg, so some parts will be lighter, some darker, and that's great. That's kind of what I'm after. I don't want it all uniform, and because we've gessoed it, you can see the bits that haven't had any gesso are really drinking this up. Ooh, that's a dark bit. If you get a bit like that that's too dark, either do what I'm doing and brush it all out, or you can just add some water to it and it'll dilute it. But I like that darker bit up there, that's nice. That bit there looks a little bit light. It's obviously fully gessoed up, that one. So I need a bit more water on my brush. There we go. And I love this effect. I really love the effect of having gessoed it first. It's just like one of my all-time favourite things. So there we are. That's that. So we've got a mix of the two shades that we pulled out, the Speckled Egg and the Uncharted Mariner. So just have to wait for that to dry and then we can get the other side done. So I'll lay that over to one side. Oops, my one side is full. Come on, budge along the bus. So let's just pop that down just now. And the envelope, which I'm going to do the same thing to one side first. Oh, that looks quite strong. Let's get some water on that. And I'm just going to put one bit of decoupage on this, just down in that corner. So I'm brushing it both ways with the envelope. Don't know why it needs it more than the other, but it did. Just brush that out a little bit because it's quite strong, that colour there. So there we are, we've got a mix of our lovely colours. That's beautiful. So I'm going to put that to one side as well to dry, or you can force dry them. But first, no, let me force dry those. I'll come back to you while I've got these colours out. Okay, so I've force dried those. They didn't take long, to be honest. There's not much on them. There's still a damp corner there. But isn't it amazing what ordinary copy paper will stand? And can I just say at this stage, this is a fabulous background for tags, for anything. It's what a beautiful thing to build up from. So we're on to the other side now, and it's exactly the same process. I'm just going to add a little bit more water to proceedings and just paint it on. And I love this effect. I really do. I've still got to do my collage for this premiere. I haven't done it yet. So I'm wondering, I'm thinking about doing this sort of effect over the background. I know you'd probably be fed up of seeing it by then, but I think it might look quite nice. And if I don't do it, I'll forget all about it. So, yeah, I think it's probably yeah, I might do that. That might be the way forward. Mr. F's just come in to hear what the way forward might be. I think he thinks I've got the answer to all sorts of problems. No. No, I don't, Mr. F. Don't have any answers to anything.
No answers, just causes.
Yeah. So there we go. I need some more water, and I don't really want to put any more ink down because there's enough there, I think. I've kind of gone all one colour now, but that's all right. It still gets graded over the gesso. A little bit in the middle there that's missed out. That's it. So there we are. That's that finished, and I can now set that to one side, and then, you know, look at both sides and see which I think is my favourite. So let's put that down. Do the back of the envelope. Oh, I think I am going to have to put some more ink out. What a shame. But, you know, got it to use it. Well, sometimes not actually. Sometimes I just get things to hoard. Water, water, water. Don't feel that you have to add the water. If you want yours quite a dark colour, that's fine. Just don't add, don't dilute it as much. Same with squash. If you add lots of water, then it's a weak taste, isn't it? If you add not so much water, then it gets stronger squash. There's my analogy. There we go. Oh, it looks lovely, doesn't it? Do you like it, Mr. F?
I like it a lot.
Oh, that's good. Don't like those sharp lines between colours, so I'm trying to not get any of those. Just this little bit here. There we go. So that's that envelope done now as well. So that's all the bluey colour ones done. So I can put that also to the other side to dry, and then I can clean up here, wash my brush out, and come back and we'll have a look at what else I'm proposing to use. So I'll see you in a sec. Well, once I sit up. Right, so this is the napkin that I want to use for another 2 sheets and an envelope. I've only got 1 napkin, so I've kind of got to make it count. And the 2 dominant colours here are purple and yellow. Now, those of you that have been following along and taking notes will know that I can't mix those 2 colours, purple and yellow, because when they mix, they produce brown. And that's definitely not what I want. So I'm going to try 2 different shades of purple. Now I've got this one, which is a Cosmic Shimmer one. It says it's purple. It says it's Grape Crush, in fact, so I think that might be all right. And I have got this, but it's Seedless Preserves, and it's actually not the right purple at all. So what I'm going to have to do is use an ink pad, sort of Dusty Concord or something like that. Villainous Potion, maybe. Oh, yes. Villainous Potion. That's a distinct possibility. Right, so let's lay that aside for the moment and get these 2 pieces done. Just seeing if my other ones are dry, where I can put these when I've done them. Anyway, let's see if it works first. So I need a fair bit of this down. Smoosh it into the mat. And I'm hoping this is going to be a bit of a different colour. Not the same. Oh, it looks very similar. Oh well, you can only use what you've got. I could try a bit of... That looks very, very similar. I'm going to look for some Dusty Concord. See if I can find that. Dusty Concord. There we go. So it is preferable to have spray stains or whatever, but this is what I've got. So let's put some of that down there. Need quite a bit of this because it's lighter, it'll get used faster. And keep that on hand because I'm pretty sure I'll need more. And wet that down. Okay, so here we go. Let's see what we get. Woo, that is dark. That is dark. I need water and I need it quick. Whoa, that is darker than I had planned. It's okay though, we're getting it back. We're getting it back, just about. I think I'll stick mainly with the Dusty Concord, I think is possibly the way forward. Maybe just sneak into that Villainous Potion a little bit. Looks quite nice actually, doesn't it? Mr. F's come to give me a hand just to find somewhere to put these to dry. So there we go. That's that. Looks all right now. We've sorted the problem. Still quite dark where the gesso hasn't touched, but that's fine. I like that contrast. It's lovely. So I can lay that to one side. Do my other page. Need a bit more water in proceedings, I think. Well, that's not such a dark start as we had last time. That Villainous Potion, I tell you, every single time I've used it, I've been shocked. Yeah, truly shocked by it. It is so dark, so rich a pigment. I mean, it's lovely. I'm not saying I don't like it, but you've just got to be aware it is, or can be, an absolute killer. No, it's not going to kill me, but you know what I mean. So I'm trying to get striations of colour in here. Trying and failing a bit, really. There, that's better. Got a darker bit in there now. And back maybe into that, see what colour that is. Just brushing it out as we go. There we go, that's that done. And that's nice because the places where the gesso isn't are naturally much darker. We're getting our two-tone effect. So that's that, and then I'll force dry those and then do the other side, yeah. Thank you. So now it's just the envelope to go. Yikey crikey, it's a bit on the dark side. Let's get a bit more light. Run out of water again, that's my problem. Sometimes only water will do. There we go, that's nice. That's nice. Now some of the lighter, which has been contaminated now, so it's all a bit dark, but it's a slightly different hue, which is fine. This is getting lighter and lighter the further right we go, but that's okay. Oh, got a hair there. So there we are. Right, so I'm going to force dry those, then do the other side, and then I'll see you back here. Right, so I've got my lavendery purpley ones done, and this is the next napkin that I've selected with these. I just think it's beautiful, the apple blossom and the apples, and half a cut apple, which I probably won't use, but I can split it up, you know, by the blossom and the apples. So the colours that I want are, I think, I've opted for fired brick because I thought it would pick out that colour in the apples, but yet this is very pinky, so I'm not sure. The problem I have is that the last set of napkins I want to use are these ones, which are very pink. So I want to save my baby pinks for that one. So I've got 4 different colours. So I don't want this one to be baby pink is what I'm saying. So I've selected Fired Brick and Tattered Rose. Looking at them, I'm not altogether certain that's the right colour, but heady-hody, let's give it a go. So let's put some of this down. I do like these old ones in the bottles. They're much easier to get stuff out of than the sprays, which can be a little unpredictable. And this Tattered Rose is nearly dead, so I don't know how much ink we'll get out of it. I might have an oxide if I'm lucky, but we'll see. We'll see where we get with that. So let's give this a go. Water, water, lots of water. Okay, and get the brush out. Dry it off. Okay, let's hope this works. I'll go for that middling sort of colour where the two have mixed. Oh yeah, I like that, that's nice. That's a nice colour actually. A bit of Tattered Rose down here. Oh, I think this is alright. I think we're okay. Wow, that's a bit fierce, isn't it? Water. I do want some of that colour though, because as I explained to you, I don't want it to be that baby pink that I want to make the one for the roses. It's been a good year for the roses. Sorry, that Elvis Costello song just came to me. Yeah, that's a nice colour. That's Fired Brick mixed with Tattered Rose, who'd have thought it. I've got some gaps, I think, possibly over here. Just fill those in. That Tattered Rose on its own is just about too weak, to be honest. Needs a bit of colour in with it. That's alright though, I think. A bit of this down here, why not? Why not? A bit of water I need, I think, next. Just brush that out. So you don't have any distinct edges really, that's all. It's like an ombre sort of effect. Just need some colour here, I think. A little bit down there. There we go, that's that one. I think that's okay. Every time I look I seem to have lighter bits, but I think that's okay. I think it's just they are lighter. That Tattered Rose is a very weak colour. I know it's sometimes what you need, but I'm just saying it is a weak colour. There we are, I think that's alright. I think I've got that I've got a bit of a line situation down the middle. Let's just see if we can get rid of that. There we go, that's okay. Right, so be careful with your paper, because remember this is just copy paper. It will just disintegrate if you're not careful with it. I'll just put that there to dry. Let's do the envelope next. It's a lot of pigment. Where are you going with all that pigment? No idea. Let's brush some of that out. Oh, that's just too much. More water. More water with it, Vicar. Do like it though, it's nice. It's just that it's a good bit darker than my paper. So back into this Tattered Rose, which by now has become extinct. I think I need to renew my tattered rose. There's just not any real, there's no real ink in it at all. Yeah, it's quite devoid of colour. But what can you do, eh? There we are, so I'll set that to one side to dry. Let's put a thumbprint in that. And do the other page. Start off with some middling type colour this time. Stop giving myself a heart attack. Get through a lot of water, don't you? So after these two, I've just got two left, and they're going to be the pink, the real baby pink sort of ones. Well, I'm going to add some picked raspberry too, I think, but more pink. This has got a kind of a, I don't know, orangey hue to it. It's not coral, I won't describe it as coral. That's a beautiful colour. I don't know how I made that, but it was very nice. I'm just going to venture into that little darker bit there. Just introduce a darker bit, because the envelopes turned out quite dark. There we go, I think that's alright. Like that, maybe a darker bit along the bottom, perhaps, just balance it up a little bit. There we go. So I'm going to force dry this side that I've just painted and dry the other, and I'll see you back when I come to do the pink one. See you soon. Right, so we're down to the last one, which is this with the pretty pinks, and I've decided to use the picked raspberry, which is a very strong stain, and actually Victorian velvet, which is has more of a lilac-y edge to it, more of a purpley edge, but I think it might tone down the picked raspberry and work well for us. That's the theory anyway. Let's hope it works. So a little bit of the picked raspberry, and I don't want too much, and quite a bit of the Victorian velvet, which actually looks quite dark like that, but we're going to water it down again by a lot. Dry my brush off. And let's see if we can make this work. Oh, I've sprayed that. Oh, I've sprayed me. I've sprayed everything. Never mind. It'll be okay. So, this piece of paper's got a mark on it already. I don't know how it got it. It just got it during the making process. That is quite a dark colour, isn't it? Get some water on that. Yeah, that Victorian velvet I think will work to tone that down, because it is quite, I knew it was highly stained, so I can't say I'm shocked, but it is very highly stained. I just want to ensure that people can actually write on this, you know, that it's writing paper. I don't want to make it so dark you won't be able to see your words. So there we are. That's okay. That's okay. This is a Victorian velvet here, isn't it? Let's put some of that up there. It's a very pretty colour, that Victorian velvet, actually. I must say it's one of those colours I've got in my drawer and I don't think it ever comes out really. I always think, oh, it's a bit too purpley for that and it's a bit too whatever, but actually it's a lovely colour. I must pay it more heed in future. There we are. Let's just see if there's any bits that need just going over a little bit. No, I like that. Lovely. So we're on the home lap now. Just the other side of these to do. And then the decoupage. I seem to have, well, I say I've been at this all day. I have actually. I've literally been doing this all day, waiting for things to dry and so on and so forth. So it's been a bit of a labour of love, and by this time of night, which is 6:20, I've about had enough, to be honest with you. But it's Saturday night, so the premiere goes out tomorrow, so it's kind of got to be done. We've just had stuff to do this week. It's been a busy week. Between hospital appointments and peanuts and all sorts of things, it's just, the time has just vanished. A little bit, no, not more of that, more of this I think. Maybe a little bit more of that actually, it's all been taken up now. And of course some more water. Nice pink bit in there from the picked raspberry. Into the Victorian velvet. Is that what it's called? Have I just invented a colour? I can't remember. The old brain's gone. So there we go, that's that one. Very pretty. Just the envelope to do. I'll do the back first because that's what's looking at me. Ah! What have I picked up? What on earth is that? Quick, get that washed out. Don't even know what that is. Oh my goodness. I haven't got a clue what that was. Maybe I picked it up from down here or something. I don't know. But we've got rid of it anyway, thankfully. I was messing around with Brusho actually the other day, so it could be just a little bit of that got left behind. It's very strong stuff, it's Brusho, and it does kind of get everywhere. Very potent it is. Oh, I've got more here. I don't know where that's coming from. Where's my water? It's not on here. I don't know. Don't know what it is at all. So there we are, that's those sides done. I'm going to force dry them and then paint the other side, and then I'll see you back here. Right, I think virtually everything is dry. It's now 7:50 on a Saturday evening. And I'm going to start the decoupage, and I'm going to start with this because it's my favourite. I'm just going to have a look at both sides of this paper, see which I prefer. Well, this side, if any, there's nothing in it really. And I've torn out my decoupage And I've taken the back 2 layers off. I'm going to have one little birdie down there, one up here, because if it's writing paper, you generally start off, don't you, dear somebody over this side. So that's the premise I'm working on, and then the envelope will take care of when we get to that. I'm only going to do 1 sheet of paper, the writing paper, but I am going to put the decoupage on both. It's just I'm kind of running out of steam really. So when I decoupage napkins, I don't put glue underneath. I just put it on top. It soaks through, and there's no need to risk putting glue underneath, because if you put glue underneath, there's always the chance it's going to stick where you don't want it, and trying to get wet napkin, wet tissue paper off is virtually impossible. I mean, it's tissue paper and it's wet. It's a difficult task. So that's that one on. So let's move to this one on the top. Which angle do I want him at? Like that, I think. And I generally, well, I always start from the centre and work my way out. That way, if there's any air bubbles, you push them out as you go. So from the centre out all the time. And try not to go over. It's really difficult not to keep going over them, but try not to. It's unnecessary. And you just run the risk of your brush catching on something and tearing it, and then it's curtains. It's curtains. So there we are. That's that done. Really as quick and simple as that. So I've got that little dicky up the top, that one down the bottom, and now for the envelope. I'm using for this the Tim Holtz Distress Collage medium. It's actually my favourite for doing this. You could use anything, you could use matte medium, anything you fancy, but I like that. I like the consistency of it. And I'm going to put this down on this corner because I think there's plenty room there for an address. And this could go through the post. There's nothing to stop it going through the post. You'd still get a stamp and address on there perfectly. Just because it's decorated, just give the postman something to look at, won't it? So from the centre, as I say, out. Make sure you've got plenty, whatever it is you're using, plenty glue on your brush, because when your brush is dry, that's when disaster happens. There's too much friction and it tears the tissue. So always make sure you've got plenty glue on your brush. And that's that. And when they're properly dry, I'll come along and just snip those bits off the bottom. But that's it. Perfect little birdie. So that's the blue set. As I say, I will come back and do the others, but not tonight. Too much for me. I've been working on these all day. Right, this is the purple with the pansies. Let's just have a look at the paper. Oh, I definitely like this side best. So I'm going to have to use this one. I know it's not purple, but I haven't got enough of the purple ones to go around. So I'll just use this one. It'll look fine, I'm sure. And don't forget, these are sticky. This is glue. So don't stack them on top of each other when you're drying them. That way leads to disaster. There we go. Lovely. That's that one. Do the top one. This is a very pretty pansy. But I didn't have enough and I only had one napkin, so I just had to spread them out a bit. It's just so much easier if you don't put glue down first. So much easier. Your napkin's got room to go where it wants to without being caught up in glue underneath it. I tore that when I was tearing it out, but I have to live with it. So that's the paper done. And now, where are we going to put this one? Same place, I think. Down that, yeah, that's looking nice. I am going to run out of room. So, it's just very straightforward. People get all hung up about decoupage, and I've never quite understood why. It really is a very simple thing to do. Follow the basic rules. With the Tim Holtz collage paper that you buy in the rolls, you know, you can't do it this way. You have to put glue underneath them because the glue won't penetrate them. I'm going to have to give these to Mr. F because I actually have nowhere to put them, given that they're wet. Can you kind of keep them like that because they're all sticky? Thank you. And we'll move on to the apple and the blossom. Thank you. So I think I'll put the apples. Oh, I've got the 2 sheets of paper here. Well, they both need using, so don't suppose it matters which one, does it? I like this side better. And I like that colour, it matches our apples beautifully. So I think I'm going to put them there. This leaf will be over the side, but I can cut it off when we're finished. They look lovely, don't they? Big fat juicy apples. I like apples actually. I probably have an apple every day actually. Oops. There we go. I was anticipating this being much more wrinkly than it is, you know, the paper. But I'm surprised how well that 90 GSM paper has held up. It's amazing. So that's the apple on, and as I say, I'll come along when it's dry and trim that off. Don't try and trim it when it's wet. It's that way leads disaster. So this, the apple blossom, I'm just going to have coming in from the top like that. And you can't see anything, can you? There you go. So this bit will be to trim off, but that's okay. So yeah, the golden rule, make sure that you have plenty of product, whatever it is, on your brush. Try to resist the temptation to keep going over the same bit again and again, just to make sure it's smooth. It will be. Just leave it alone and move along the bus. There we go. That's that. Lovely. So that's that sheet with the blossom at the top and the apples at the bottom. Oh, it's nice, that sheet. I like it. Now the envelope. I'm a bit tied for... I only had one napkin actually with this on. So I've torn the end off the blossom. So I've got 2 of these little bits. And I think I'm just going to use them on the bottom. Just like that. One going one way and one going the other. I think that's kind of the best I can do with what I've got. These envelopes, I must say, are not 90, they're 120, because if anybody did want to send it in the post, I feared that 90 might just not be strong enough. The paper's fine, but the envelope, you need to make sure it's going to get to its destination, don't you? There we go. So that's that one done as well. Oh, we're motoring through these, aren't we? And the next one, let me just put that up there. The next one is the very sweet pink one with the roses. Now there's one of these papers that isn't quite dry. In fact, neither of them feel ultra dry. That one I think is perhaps the dampest of the two. I don't know why it's so damp, but it is. They are done. But they're alright. Take no hurt. Right, so here are my roses. Now I could get that down there, hanging off the edge, and I think that would be sufficient rosage. And up the top, then I'm probably going to have to lose this one. And bring that like that, possibly. Or possibly in again, like that. Yeah, I think so. So let's lose this one here. It's such a shame because it's so pretty, that little bud, but you know, I've only got room for so much. So I'm going to put that there like that. I think that'll look nice. So we're obviously going to lose that bit, but that's fine. Plenty of product. I'm not listening to my own advice. Which for once is good advice, actually. Bring that over that way and chase any air out that's under it, out of it. And that just goes off the page up there. And the background just sort of blends away. There we go, that's that one done at the top. And this one now at the bottom. I could twist that a little more and get some of that bud in, which I think might look quite nice. Let's do that. So yeah, I think the thing about decoupage is don't get stressed about it. There really is nothing to get stressed about. The worst that can happen is if you put glue. If you're using napkins, do not put glue down first. That way you'll get wrinkles because it gets caught on the glue, and then as you spread it out, it can't spread out to where it wants to go. There we go. I'm just wondering about this little bud here. If I could get that just in that top corner. I think I possibly could, you know. Just fill in that little top corner bit. Looks a bit bare. Just in there, perhaps. I'm going to have to lose most of that, I think. I think that will go there all right. Just fill that gap in. There we go. Right, so that's that. And that'll just get chopped off. And the same up there, so lovely, that's nice. And just the envelope to go. My goodness me. Right, so now we've got to decide what we're doing with this envelope. Whew, let's fold the top over so we can see the real estate that we've got. I think I'll tear those top two buds off. I don't think they are needed. Well, I don't think there's room for them really. There we go. And pop that there. Pop that there like that. I think that would look nice. These envelopes are what we call in this country DL. I don't know what you call them in the States. I'll measure one in a second, but I think they're 8.5 by 4.25, and A4 paper just fits in perfectly, folded into 3, and it's kind of what you get your business letters in, your gas bill or whatever it may be, folded into 3. There we go. So that's the envelope done, which is very nice. I've got these 2 little buds. No, just behave yourself. So that is all our decoupage done. I mean, I do have the other 2 sheets to do, but you don't need to see me do them. It's exactly the same thing. So I shall show you those. I was going to say I'll show you those on the live tomorrow. What am I talking about? I've lost my marbles. It's finally happened. Yeah, I'll show you them at some stage what they all look like, because we need to devise something to put them in as well, so that it shows them off to the best. So we've done the roses, we've done the apples, we've done the birds, and we've done, what was the other one? I can't remember. Pansies, that's right. We've done that as well. So let's shift that to one side. Yeah, massive one side that I've got here. And I'm going to pause there, and then I'll be back with the collage, this week's collage. So don't go away. See you soon. I've just popped back on just because I've finished these, and I just wanted to I just wanted to show you the finished product. So here's our pretty rose ones, and we've got the envelope and 2 of the sheets of writing paper. Pretty. So that's those. Then we've got the pansy ones, the envelope and 2 sheets of the writing paper, which turned out quite nicely, I think. Then the lovely blue tit, the envelope and the 2 sheets of writing paper. They're nice, aren't they? And last but not least, we've got the apple and the blossom one there. So that's the 2 sheets of writing paper and the envelope. Oop, needs a little trim along there. Careful not to trim through your envelope. There we go. So our envelope and our 2 pieces of writing paper. So that's my writing kit so far. It will, however, have to go into something. I can't just present the good ladies of Allendale show with that. So I'll scratch my head during the week, and hopefully next week I'll come up with something and I'll show you what it is. So thank you for bearing with me. I know this was well, for me it took a whole day actually, but now stay tuned because I'm going to do the collage. Right, so here's a list of the prompts for this week: decoupage, doily, die cut, all the D's, buttons and lace. So that is that. Take a screenshot, get your notebook out and scribble that down quite quickly. Decoupage, doily, die cut, buttons and lace. Right, the collage. So I did actually give you 2 pages on my Ko-fi site. They're free to download if you want to download them. You can of course use a plain background or use any background that you have made, or have and fancy using. This one was the first one up, but I've decided to go with this one, which just looks like coffee stain paper, but it's gorgeous. I really love it. And I'm going to use that, and I don't know how much of that will be left by the time I've finished, because I intend to do similar to what I did with the decoupage sheets. So I've got some cream coloured acrylic paint and my little baby brayer, and I'm just going to put some acrylic down on here. I can use acrylic with this because nobody's going to be writing on it. I couldn't use it with a decoupage because, as I said at the time, I want people to be able, I'm not anticipating anybody using it, but you never know, somebody might want to, so I used gesso, and that way they will be able to write on it. So I'm just applying it quite as lightly as I can, actually, because I want to preserve some of this background if I can. I just really, when I was doing the decoupage pieces, I just fell in love all over again with brayer and gesso and things. It's just really lovely effect. And this hasn't got any bits in it. I threw what was left of my gold and gesso away. There wasn't much. I was scratching the bottom, which was where the problems arose from. So it's a thin layer of gesso, well, acrylic I should say. I'm just going to go the other way as well. So we are hiding the background, but not entirely. There's still bits of it coming through, and I really like that actually. I love the look of it. So there we are. I've used cream instead of white. I'm not sure that, you know, some of the ink wouldn't come off because it is coffee stain printed on an inkjet printer. So, you know, that's not waterproof. But I did print it a good few days ago now. So generally if you leave it, you've got more chance with it. So that's all of the acrylic that I want on there. I can drop that into there and get cleaned up a little bit. And then I'll come back to you and we'll think about putting some, whether we want to or not, put some vintage photo. So that's dry now. I really like it. Ooh, it sounded like a horse or something there. Oh, no, that's not a horse, that's some sort of bird. I think I will use a little bit of vintage photo. I'm probably going to lose all of the background, which means I could have started with a cream piece of paper and we'd have been all right. But it's an option for you. It's a choice. Choices are good. So I'm just going to spray a bit down here, and I'm almost out of water. I've used so much water. I want that really dilute. And then my brush, which is in water, so it need to dry that out a bit. Right, and I'm just going to take a little bit of this very faded vintage photo, just add that onto there. Oh my goodness, I love it. So nice. I think I've gone a bit overboard with the amount of vintage photo I put out, but never mind. So there we are, we have a lovely background on which to work our collage. So I'll leave that to dry and then I'll be back to you. Bye for now. Right, so this is the collage that we left yesterday at this juncture. We'd gessoed it and we'd gone over it with a bit of vintage photo, not very much, because I still wanted to see some of the markings from the original page. There's not many there, but there are some. Right, so now I'm going to build my collage, and I thought I'd use a doily. I haven't used a doily for ages. Where's my collage book till I see if I've got any excess room around that page. Where are we up to? Here. Let's have a look. No, that page pretty much fills that page. I don't know, it might be a bit big actually. No, it's just perfect. But I've got no room around it, so whatever I build has got to be within the confines of this page. Right, so that means I'd have to bring that doily in to about there. Okay, so let's tear that off there then. I'm making this up as I go along, as you might have realised. I've had these doilies for so long, but they've just never got used. So where am I aiming for? About there. And they've got a little bit crumpled as well, because I haven't looked at them, I haven't cared for them very much. Yeah, that's fine, I like that. That's great. So if I were to stick that down there, next thing I want to use is a piece of craft paper, craft card, whatever you've got. I've got paper, so that's what I'm going to use. And I just want that to come inside there so I can still see that doily. But I kind of want to tear it, so I need to cut a bit off it first probably, and get my mini trimmer to work. I probably need to cut off a good ½ inch, so I'm just going to do that by eye. And what do I need to cut off width-wise? Quite a bit, otherwise we're never going to see the doily. Need to cut it off. Let's have a look. To about there. Let's do that. Let's see what happens if we do that. Are you going to fit in there? Oh yeah. Oh, my little trimmer has failed me. Where's my other one? This one seems so big now because I use the small one so often. This one feels ginormous. Oops. Dropped it. Right, so that is going to go there. This is going to come here like that. Yeah, that looks all right. So now I'm going to tear around this simply because I just want that torn look, the torn edge look. So I'll just pause you while I tear. Right, so the next thing that I have in my mind to do is to cut a flower die out of that. I don't know if it's going to work or not. I've got this one, which I do like a lot, and this one, which usually gives me grief when I cut it, to be honest. But I'm going to try it. Yeah, I'm going to give it a whirl. And I want it cut out rather than in. So I'm going to have to do it that way, aren't I? Right, so the one problem with this Gemini midi is the plates, and they end up like that, like bananas. But Mr. F cut me a base plate out of an old cutting board. Really is very old. So I've at least got one side that's flat. So I'm just going to put my brown paper on there, put that up to there like so, and then I don't even know which way is best to go with this plate. It's so banana. and give that a try. But I suspect it's going to need to go through several times. Not because of the plates, it's because this is one of those rogue dies that you get that just doesn't like to cut. Could probably do with a shim in it actually. That would probably help. Let's have a look. Oh no, that looks good. That looks good. And let's put that little sucker away. Let's see. Of course, this is craft paper, so it's a little bit more delicate to get your bits out of. Oh, don't get your bits out. Oh no. It's just that little bit up there that's just being awkward. I'm pretty sure it's cut. Ugh. Come on. One little bit there. What's your problem? Yeah, I think there must be a low spot on this die because this happens every single time. Come on. I'm gonna get you, whether you want to be got or not. So what's catching now? That bit there. There we go. Right. So I'm left with that. Brilliant. This is a bit mould, so it's going in the bin. But that's my flower. I've cut it out. It has worked. Hallelujah. So let's pop those to the side. And the plates. Right, now let's see. Now underneath this I quite fancy a bit of book page, bit of text, just to highlight it, but also to reinforce that sort of kind of shabby look, I suppose. So I've selected a page and I'm going to put that behind. I think that looks nice. So let's just cut this out. So I want it inside those marks. See if that's big enough, too big, whatever. It's fine, it's just a little bit down here needs chopping off. So there we are. So I'm going to stick that to there, which will reinforce these loose bits in the flower and give us a really nice background. So let's get rid of that. And let's glue around this flower, which is going to take a while. Yeah, I'm going to do this bit in my EVA. Make sure that I get all those little bits. I don't want them flicking up. It's a different sort of collage today, isn't it? Hopefully it works out all right. But if it doesn't, I guess you'll never see it. It'll just be consigned to the cutting room floor. We're knee deep now in videos that didn't make it. We have to, the floor's uneven now from everything that's on the cutting room floor. No, to be honest, I don't that often make complete hashes of things. Usually they're salvageable in some way. There we are. So then I just need to glue the rest of this paper down. Maybe not right to the edges, because I don't think that book page goes right to the edges, so all I want to do at the moment is just stick the book page on. I'm not sticking it to the collage yet. Right, there we go. That should be sufficient, I think. And here goes. Lovely. That seemed to work a treat. Stick all my little bits down. Yay! Right, so that's all right so far. Now the next thing that I want to do is, because of the decoupage this week, I want to add a decoupage element, and I'm going to use my favourite, these two little birdies, and I'm just going to tear out a quarter where the two birds are on. So I'm not fussy cutting or anything, fussy tearing I suppose it is really, isn't it? But I'm not doing that here. I'm just going to use the whole quarter piece and stick that down onto ordinary white card. There we go. So I'm going to stick that entire thing down. And get some blue roll and my brush and the Distress Collage medium. And this is a rather big section, so make sure you've got enough glue on your brush. You should never be brushing in that direction. Always brush out. And use a nice soft brush. The harder the brush, the more likely it is you're going to tear your tissue and not get a very smooth finish. Right, so that's that. I think we are all right. It doesn't look wrinkly to me. Excellent. So I'm just going to force dry that and then I'll see you back. Right, so I've done that. That's dry now. I'm just going to chop that out. and as you can see it's too big to fit into the sidekick, so I'm going to have to use the Gemini MIDI again. So come here, and what I want to cut out is a circle. Let's try the second from largest. Can I get both of those in? Yikes, not really. Not really. I think the large one is, let's try it on our collage. See if it's just too large. It's quite large, but I think I'm going to have to use it to get those birds in. Let's just have a look. Get the next two sizes out. I could cut one out. Could cut that one, but I could cut that one out nicely. Yeah, I could. So I might do that then. Let's do that. Because I want a circle, but I don't want it massive. Where's my plates? Such as they are. So pop that on there. Pop that on there. That's almost at the edge there, but I think we're okay. Whoops. There we go. Where's my mint tape? I wonder. I think I'm going to have to carry on wondering. I have no idea where it is. Is it in my box of washies? No. Don't know where I put that. And it would be good to use now, but I don't have it, so I'm just going to have to hope against hope that that's okay and doesn't move. Yikes. Nope, hasn't moved. It's perfect. Okay, so let's put all this stuff away. Let's put my circle die away. Welded to the decoupage. Oh, it's a bit square there on the bottom, isn't it? Oh well, it is what it is. See if we can find a way of disguising that somehow. Right, so that's going there. This is going there. This is going down here, like that. And then I want to... what do I want to do now? I want to introduce some lace somewhere. Well, this tulle actually, but I'm calling it lace. And I'd quite like that sort of around there, like a kind of rosette. I think I'm going to put my heat gun on. So in the interim, while I'm waiting for my heat gun to warm up, my glue gun, should I say, I'm just going to tear these off because they're at a funny sort of angle, and then I want to bring in some bits of doily so they go around there, like that. That's great, that's fabulous. And then maybe another bit for down here. tear these off. I might want them for the bottom. So pop that in there, see what that looks like. Looks great, looks nice. It's a little bit wrinkled up, that one, but what can you do? Tear this one off. And pop this one, which is very wrinkled, in there. Maybe then we can start to glue something down. I don't know. I do not know. Right, so I've got doily all the way around my card now, and I'm quite happy with that. So I'm actually gonna glue that down. Whew. So where's my glue? So I'm not that fussed at getting every little last bit of the lacy part of the doily. That's just madness. It would take way too long. So I'm just putting dots of glue hither and thither and all along the edge, and just some little bits in the middle that I can get to easily. Right, there we go. So let's get that in and in place, which is about there, I think. Like that. Stick that down. That wrinkle's all but come out now, so we're all right. And moving on around, let's do this piece. And around the edge, it's got a good edge, it's quite wide, so it's easy enough to glue. Lovely. This side. Oh, not you, just you. Oh, it's got stuck on the last. It's got stuck on the other bit of doily that I put in, so it's going to make this a bit interesting. But like I say, I'm really not hung up about getting every last bit. That way leads madness. And I'm already quite mad enough. Quite mad enough. So we definitely know where that goes because it was stuck there. Lovely. And then this bit at the top. And we're pretty much there with regards to the doily. There we go. That bit's a bit wrinkled and a bit unnecessary, to be honest. There's a bit underneath it. Right, there we go. So I'm not going to stick this on yet, although it does look very nice. But I want to put some of this tulle in it. First thing I kind of want to do is put some tulle, it's just a funny word, around my bird. So I'm just gonna, this is mainly archival on this brush, which means it'll stick to the collage medium that I used. He's gonna go there like that. So yes, the tulle. I probably want quite a long strip because I'm going to pleat it, so a long squarish strip, if I can get it out of this. This is a Mr. F charity shop find. by now he definitely knows what I like. Huh? Where am I? Where's my bit there I've cut? Oh my goodness. Here it is. So I'm just going to keep going till I run out. Because it's very thin, this probably need more than one layer, I would have thought. That's got to be enough. That's it. Let's say that's enough. There's quite a lot of it there. So just want to glue this to the underneath part of this, but I want to pleat it as I go. So, okay, I think my glue gun's probably warmed up enough. So I'm just going to put that on and pleat it as I go, like that, into the hot glue, and then carry on around it, and hopefully we'll disguise that bit that I die cut incorrectly. Just mind your hands. I've just stuck my thumb in this, which I did not mean to do, and it's quite warm. There we go. Let's just have a look at that. That's nice, but it's not, you know, it's not in your face at all. So I'm going to come back the other way now. So I'll have like a double layer. Of this. You don't need to be too fussy about your pleats. Stuck to it. Oh, come on, my glue's getting cold. Yikes. Okay, that's better. You can see that better now. So that's going to go there. Probably more like that, really, in actuality. Okay, so that's fine. Got a load of glue all over me. How do I always manage that? I don't know. And then I want some behind here and then some in front. So let's just take, I've got loads more than this, but this is what I'm using at the moment. So I'm just going to take a bit off there, and I want that just behind, sort of like that, just on the corner. Yeah. Okay, so let's move that to one side. And it's this corner here. Just going to put a big circle there so I know it's that corner. And put me some glue down. Then stick this down. And I have got a bit extra here. So I'm going to come back like I did before. The great comeback. There we are, that'll be fine. Lovely. And then I want some on the inside of that as well. So I'm going to have to try and make this a bit neater. Whoops, just stuck it to my media mat. Kind of wasn't what I had in mind. Right, okay, so we've got that. And I just want some on the inside. But I don't really need it to be a frill, just some lacy stuff really. Something like that probably will do nicely. So let's just put some glue down and start to add this. Fold over that top edge first. Just bring this up like that. Stick that down. I've still got some left, so I'm going to carry on coming down the page. There we are, I think that's alright, and I think that's stuck. Lovely, so that's going to go there. Our bird's going to go like that. It's all looking nice. Right, so I think there isn't anything more that I want to put under that, under this, so I can now stick that down. So where's my colour? I could use the hot glue gun, I've got it out already, but I've got this in my hand now. So there we go, about there. It's going to need a little bit of weight or something on it, that top corner I believe. I'll stick that on it. And then I'm going to stick this on. Now I think I might want to bring that forward a little bit. In fact, I want to bring it forward a little bit. So let's see. My dimensional tape, which is the widest one, this one. So I'll just pop some on the back of here. That's going to drip onto my media mat, so I'm just going to move it back a little bit. Possibly a little bit in the middle of that. I think the lace itself is holding it up quite well, but just a little bit there. Lovely. So I'll just peel off the release tapes. Come on. There we go. And pop our birdie down. Kind of like that, I think. I think that's nice. It's got a little bit of height. Not much, but a little bit. That's fine. So now this is dry. And that should all be stuck down. So now I'm going to stick some buttons on it. So I've looked out some buttons. These are sort of ivory buttons. They're gorgeous, and I don't use them very often because they've got 4 holes, and when I'm sewing them on I don't like to use the 4 holes. It's too much work, but for this it's perfect. So let's get them out, see what we've got. Lots of different ones actually. It's still got a bit of thread in it. So I've got that one. I also sought that one out because I thought that was a lovely colour foil for the blue tit, and a small white button as well. It's ivory type. It's not ivory, but it's that sort of colour. So I could put those 3 there. That blue one is a little on the large side, I think. I did look out this little blue one. I think that's better. I like that better. Okay, let's whiz those off. Away. You wouldn't believe how things can get stuck under things. There you go. So I'm going to stick those on. Then I'm finished with the glue gun, I think. So a little dollop on the back. Now I'm not sure the etiquette of sticking these on, whether you stick the button or you stick where it's going. I don't know. It's not something that I've done often. I might have done it before, but not often. So I'm just squeezing some. Actually, I think it might be easier to squeeze it onto there. That's what I think. Squeeze it onto there and push it down. Yikes, that's hot. Of course, being a hot glue gun, it doesn't take very long for them to stick. That's a lot of glue for a little button. There we go. Lovely. Right, so that's kind of the fundamentals of that build. Now we just need to just add some little pieces to it, really. Not very much, because it's looking nice. So I've looked at my Witchcraft You Do beigey colour box. That's nice. Maybe more, I think I'm looking for more this sort of thing, to be honest. Probably want something down here. Let's see what we got. I've got that nice date there. Old date. That looks nice there. They look nice there, don't they, I think? All this cutting out, there's so much cutting out in this box, you would not believe it. Well, you would, I imagine, but I've got hot glue all over my nails, so now it's really tricky moving things around. What about that one? That one there. What about putting that up there? Just to kind of pull it together, really. Could possibly do this, yeah, square one there. I don't know. Maybe that sort of colour. It's not gonna fit that one because of the birdie. Oh, hang on, spoke too soon. No, I want something across here, definitely. Let's try that again. I like that, but it needs something else with it. It's a bit weak like that on its own. So I'll just keep ferreting through this box, see what I come up with. No, too plain. Oh, what's that? Bit too bright, isn't it? And the thing is that a lot of these in here got put in here because they didn't really fit any other box, but a bit big, too green. Same as the one on the other side, that's no good. Oh, what about that? Ralph Inman. I'm going to save that because that it's a man's name. Needs to go on a photograph, that one really. William Drummer. Thank you for your service, William, but not today. Oh, it's a nice one there, says reserved. Reserved. And I've just got some small square ones. I'm wondering if that would go there. Yeah, I like that. I don't think we need any more. Don't need to look anymore. So let's just quickly whiz round these with a little bit of ink. Get them stuck on. If I can get into the ink, that is. I think I'm overrunning today. Just get the feeling I'm way over the top. But you know, it is what it is. Some weeks are shorter than 2 hours. This week I suspect is going to be way longer. What do you reckon, Mr. F? Way long.
Well, I'd clear your diaries for Monday, people.
Oh no. Lovely. Right, let's get these stuck on. And the page stuck in, and I think we're about there. Right. That one comes in a bit like that. For those of you that have stayed with me throughout this epic premiere, thank you most sincerely. I honestly don't know if I'd have stayed with me. Let's just check that they're straight or somewhat straight. I think so. And then we'll move on to these. So I hope there's something in this collage that you can take away. I never know what I've done that you like or that gives you ideas until I see something pop up on the group and I think, oh great. That was something I demonstrated. Let's just see, that one's not straight. Whew, don't think I can move it, it's stuck. It's alright, it's not too bad. Imagine if every page of your journal took this long. It would be a long old do, wouldn't it? So about there, does one think? One thinks so. Right, there we go. I think that is it. So I'm just going to stick it in our book, give you a list of the prompts, and then go about your day. I don't drink, as you know, but if I did, I would be drinking, because this has been a major feat. Getting all of the decoupage for the writing paper dry, and getting the gesso dry, getting the ink dry. Oh my goodness, it's taken, ages. ages and ages. So what you're seeing actually is the abridged version. Can you imagine how long it took me? Well, 2 days is the answer. But you know, I hope you like it, and then it's all been worth it. So let's pop this into here. I think this one just fits. It should do, because it's on A4. Let's just check that fits. No, it doesn't. Oh well. What can I do? It doesn't fit. I don't know how that's bigger than A5. It's just a little bit too wide. So I could shave it and re-ink it. I think it's probably the way forward. Shave that little bit off. There we go. So there we go. That is my offering for you today. I'll just get the list of the prompts and I'll be right back. Right, so here's a list of the prompts for this week. Decoupage, doily, die cut, all the D's, buttons and lace. So that is that. Take a screenshot, get your notebook out and scribble that down quite quickly. Decoupage, doily, die cut, buttons and lace. And I'm dying to see what you make of it. I'll see you. You know, those of you that are in the group, the Miss Paint A Lot Junk Journal group, please post your finished things, because I know it will be absolutely amazing. The differences that, you know, how different your collage will be from mine. I mean, if you want to use mine as a template, that's fine, you know, go ahead. But there we have it. So decoupage, doily, die cut, buttons and lace. Week 9 already. Okay guys, that's me. I'm off to put my feet up and I'll see you very soon. Bye.